A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Sportsocracy, Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene with you, and we are live in the Wicked Weed studio. As always, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Pitchers and catchers report for baseball.
Go fuck yourself.
Pitchers and catchers report today. Baseball season is back.
And no one cares.
Oh, poor Sullen, Jeremy. It's so sad. You're gonna have to get on the baseball train here, bud.
Have I made it through 4 years of being not on it?
No, I'm just saying.
I believe I will stay off.
Eventually, I think you're gonna come around. Eventually, you're gonna realize that having something to keep your mind straight during the off season.
I have something. Golf, basketball, MMA, pro wrestling, squirrel skiing, cockfighting. I mean, I keep going. I mean, these are all things that I would watch before I would watch baseball.
Pitchers and catchers report for spring training today. And everybody's so excited. The first tweet I saw this morning was from an Orioles fan. So excited. So excited that the season's starting. And I still love the fact that the playoff predictions or probabilities came out yesterday from one source, and they were a 0.0 chance to make the playoffs.
You know what else is a 0.0% chance? The
Jeremy
chance of me
watching
giving
baseball.
a rat's ass.
You got to get with the times, man.
They could play baseball in my backyard and I'd burn the house down.
Oh, come on. Yeah, we're not. We're CMC is not going anywhere. Kevin Vick's already on it. He's this rumor keeps growing and growing that apparently the Carolina Panthers would have give up Christian McCaffery and 3 first-round draft picks for Deshaun Watson.
And it's driving me insane.
Yeah. Here's the first off. I don't think you're going to be able to get rid of Christian McCaffery. I mean, I hope you really, really enjoy having him around. Because you're going to have him around forever.
He's going to be there.
Nobody is taking on that contract. Everyone looks at that contract and goes, we're glad we weren't in the position to make that decision.
And we know you love him. We get that. That's fine. Name me the last great running back that won a Super Bowl. I'll wait. Can you even name me who started in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs? Not this year, but last year? This year it was Leonard Fournette, who was
Damian
available
Williams.
to everyone.
The Super Bowl MVP, Damian Williams.
Woohoo! Who made what, $60?
Right.
They gave him 4 Red Bulls and a pack of Marlboros, and that's what he made to play in the Super Bowl?
Oh, Christian McCaffrey is it would be a non-starter for me in any.
It's a non-starter for everybody. Do you
Right.
know where this rumor came from? This has literally driven me borderline to the point of drinking.
Ooh, wait, let me guess. David Newton.
Of course.
The guy who everybody in Carolina hates, apparently.
But he didn't even say this was a thing. He put it in an article of bold predictions a week ago. And then all of a sudden somebody on Twitter picked it up and went, David Newton said they're ready to give up 3 1 to Christian McCaffrey. And Houston went, cool. We have to poop. We'll call you back.
Here's the problem, though. I can't figure out what side what side are you on this, Kevin Vick? I have to know. Are you on the side of stop saying that CMC is going somewhere because he's too valuable? Or are you on the side of that's too much to offer for Deshaun Watson? That's what I'm curious about.
I literally can't even see his comments yet. And I already know. If you could give up Christian McCaffrey and anything to get Deshaun Watson, you do it instantaneously. Mm-hmm. You don't think about it. You don't marinate on it. You don't need to talk to your wife about it. You do it immediately. Here's the problem. The Texans have to agree to this too. And it doesn't really matter where he went to college or where he's from. Or, it's all these wonderful stories. It doesn't fucking matter. The Jets have 2, the Dolphins have 3. And then, what do you have that contends with that by itself?
No, Kevin Vick says that's way too much to give up for Deshaun Watson.
Oh, no!
I kind of thought that's where that was going, and
I can't see it yet, so I'm riding a little blind. I'm still doing all of the sharing and thing.
He says Carolina doesn't have an offensive line, and Watson can't throw on his back. He's been doing it for 5 years. This is the only way he has gotten anything done in Houston. Is throwing from his back and running for his life. He would be he would immediately be the greatest quarterback the Carolina Panthers have ever had.
Deshaun Watson spent so much time on his back, I would think he had an OnlyFans account.
Kevin Vick Memorial Bell.
Only person to ever have a bell named for him and not die. He's still here. We can see him. He's right there.
Yeah, I mean, the Carolina Panthers have a lot of problems. The Carolina Panther fans drive me crazy because this is not where your focus should be. Your focus should not be on getting Deshaun Watson. Your focus should be on getting an offensive line, drafting a young quarterback, and building the way. I don't know what changed. Like, it seemed like everybody was cool with this whole Matt Rule thing. Looked pretty good in the first year, right?
Well, I can tell you what changed.
They looked like an efficient offense, and okay, young defense. Things look like they're improving, and then immediately the season ends, and everybody goes, "We can win now."
I can tell you what changed. Matt Rule started talking. Oh, Teddy Bridgewater's not good enough for us. And then Panthers fans went, Matt Rule thinks we can And Deshaun Watson's from it. He's from Atlanta. And he played at Clemson. And if you follow, that leads to Charlotte. I can already tell you that this offseason is going to take multiple years off of my life. I've heard Deshaun Watson going to 4 teams that don't make a lick of fucking sense. No, in Carolina, you're one of them. Sorry about your luck. You're one of them. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so walk me through this. You're going to give up Christian McCaffery, who, by the way, cannot stay healthy, is a 5'7" running back, and he's 26 years old, and that you've already paid. We've been down this road. How many running backs do I need to give you? Ezekiel Elliott, Le'Veon Bell, on and on and on. You pay running backs and they break. They're like the shitty toys you get at Chuck E. Cheese. You give the monies and they break immediately. That's Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is a kazoo from Chuck E. Cheese. It's fun to play with. Oh. But it broke. It broke. Now it was a very expensive kazoo. That sounds like the Kevin Vick Memorial Bell.
Nice.
Should have bought a bell.
The path forward for the Carolina Panthers is obviously not going all in right now. Right?
I'm going to level with you. Any team that trades for Deshaun Watson that's not the Miami Dolphins, you did it wrong. Any team I've heard so far, you did it wrong.
Even your Jets.
Yeah. You did it wrong. I've completely come off I do not want to do this Deshaun Watson thing. I don't. How are you going to build a team around him? How does that work? All right, so you give up. First of all, it's not 3 ones and Darnold. That's stupid. But let's say you give up 2 Darnold and Seattle's pick next year. Okay, how do you build around him? You're already paying him $30 million. Before you literally see anything, you're already paying him $30 million. Doesn't make sense. You're not that good. The Dolphins are that good. And you add Deshaun Watson to that, yeah, he's going to have some receiver problems. But that defense is good enough to win right now. Carolina, your defense is not good enough to win right now. It's not close. I don't know who told Keyshawn Johnson that Carolina's defense is good. They lied. Because he said that about 4 times this morning, and I'm sitting here with my phone in my hand going, I wish I had a direct line to you. Because I would tell you how stupid what you keep saying is.
Adam Black says, Tank, because the quarterback doesn't make a difference, does it? Of course a quarterback makes a difference. But it makes a difference if you're almost there. If you're not almost there, then adding the quarterback it's fine. I mean, it's gonna improve. You're gonna get a few more wins because you have a better quarterback. But do you want to sacrifice your future of your franchise if you're not ready to win right now? That's just, I mean.
Name me a quarterback that's ever won by themselves.
There's not.
Name me a quarterback that's ever won with a god-awful defense.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where Carolina's at. And if you can't add things, it's going to remain that way.
Right.
Yeah, you want to play a fun game? These are quarterbacks that have started Super Bowls in the last 10 years. Eli Manning, Joe Flacco, Colin Kaepernick, Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Nick Foles, Jared Goff, Jimmy Garoppolo. You know what they all have in common? They're not that good. You know what else they all had in common?
Had great teams.
Other than one, they were all cheap. They were all cheap. Joe Flacco got paid off that year. Not before it.
Mm-hmm.
Off it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say something that I've said on this show more than once, and the more I think about it, the more all in on it I am. Unless I drafted a Patrick Mahomes level quarterback, I would never give an extension to a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Ever. Deshaun Watson? See you. That $35 million that Houston gave him? Nope. No. No. Hell no. Not gonna do it. Hell no. Name me the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
5 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. You got Patrick Mahomes.
On a rookie deal.
You got Aaron Rodgers.
Hadn't won shit in 10 years.
You got Tom Brady.
Takes discounts everywhere he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Tom's the aberration because he keeps taking less than he deserves, and that allows you to build a team.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to do it again.
And nobody else is doing that.
And he'll do it again too. Where do we live off? Russell Wilson.
Let's be real honest. Can we be real honest about Russell Wilson? He hasn't won shit since he got paid. Nothing. Has not done anything. Has more first-round exits than he has wins.
Yep.
And then, keep going.
Jared Allen.
Josh
Allen.
I was about to say, Jared Allen is a defensive end that it should be in the Hall of Fame in a year or two.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, rookie deal.
Right.
I mean, I keep doing this.
Right.
Baker Mayfield. Oh, look how good Cleveland is. Cleveland's a contender for J.J.
No,
Watt. You know why? Because he's on a rookie deal. And so you can add Odell Beckham, and you can add Jarvis Landry and pay Myles Garrett and all these things. Guess what happens as soon as you pay Baker? All those toys go away. Mm-hmm. You think you're going to take his toys away and he's going to get better? No. If I'm Cleveland, there's not a snowball's chance in Atlanta that I'm paying Baker Mayfield. Mm-hmm. I'll give you $20 million. That's it. If you'll take that, I'm in. If not, we'll draft another one. I would rather have the toys than the quarterback. And I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe I have gotten to this point. But you look at this is an imitation league. And you make fun of me for my take that the Chiefs are going to regress. How do you make the money work? You have one more year before the money becomes stupid.
Yes.
What do you do then? Your defense already sucks. I mean, Cleveland or Tampa Bay just annihilated your defense. Mm-hmm. Your line was decimated because you don't have any depth. Mm-hmm. Okay, now what? By the way, that's with Mahomes still on a rookie deal. Now what? Now you pay him $35 million, $40 million, $50 million, which is what that deal escalates to over the life of it. Mm-hmm. Now what? He going to win it by himself?
Yeah.
Oh, because you still got to pay Tyreek and Travis Kelce. They will have $75 million at one point wrapped up in Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. And Mahomes.
And Mahomes.
Those 3 players, 3 of 51 players, you have $75 million wrapped up in. That's almost half of your cap in 3 guys. Mm-hmm. Won't work. Won't work. The dynasty thing, oh, we're so scared of Kansas City. They're going to win 8 Super Bowls like New England did. No, not. No, not. Because you're going to have massive deficiencies.
Mm-hmm. But are they there yet? They
Kansas
still have
City?
A couple of years.
They have a year.
They have 1 year?
A
Okay.
year.
Well, I thought they had most of these guys already.
Well, they got them locked up. What are you going to do with the rest of them?
Oh, well, what are you going to put around them?
And then,
yeah.
Oh, cool. We got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and
right.
But that's what I keep saying to Panthers fans about. Oh, well, Christian McCaffery and you do realize that all you would do is turn yourself into a shootout team. Mm-hmm. And you would turn into a shootout team that Deshaun Watson better throw 60 touchdowns a year. Because if he doesn't, you're going to get annihilated every time you trot out there. Because it's not a team that really has money in the first place. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention this because this is relatively important about the McCaffery thing. You do realize how much dead money you would incur for that, right? How much do you think
$70 million?
It's not that much. All right, let's say they traded Christian McCaffery right now. Do you know how much that would incur in dead cap money?
No.
$17 million.
17.
$17 million for a running back. You would actually lose $4.5 million in cap space, and you only got 20 to begin with.
That's all that was guaranteed out of that contract?
He's a running back. You don't guarantee money to run. I mean, for as stupid as that deal was, it would have been much worse if they had guaranteed a shitload of it.
Right.
I mean, this is to me. This is just not. It's not that difficult. Mm-hmm. You know, we're trying to make rumors. I'll give you another one. J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt's going to go to Cleveland. No, the fuck he's not. There's a better chance of me going to Cleveland than there is J.J. Watt going to Cleveland. You know why? Because he's 31 years old and he wants to win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And he looks at that team and goes, they're going to have to pay Baker real soon. And all those toys that are so fun that make him look better than he is are going to go bye-bye. Mm-hmm. And cool, we got Myles Garrett and J.J. Watt. Sweet. And you will not be able to score if you wrapped your wieners in hundreds and took them to a bar with drunk frat girls. Sorority girls. Sorry, frats guys, sorority girls. Because that's coming. I mean, that day is coming. The Cleveland thing with J.J. Watt is hilarious to me.
Right.
This offseason.
Look, it's a 1 year. It's a 1 year shot. JJ's going for a 1 year deal.
But no, he's not.
You don't?
No,
think
he's
so?
not. Why would he? He's 31 years old.
Uh-huh.
He's going somewhere to play out the rest of his days. J.J. Watt will play for a while. I do not know why no one is talking about this. He's not retiring in a year. Oh, he's been hurt. No, he hasn't. I've debunked that on this show more than once. He's had 3 season-ending injuries in 10 years. Mm-hmm. Just so happened they happened really early.
Right.
Those years combined, I think he played like 16 games because they happened early. Mm-hmm. That's why you think he's so injury-prone. He's really not. And 2 of those have been the same knee. Mm-hmm. So
you think he's going to sign a multi-year deal somewhere?
I think he's going to be somewhere for several years.
Okay.
And the Tampa thing, Kevin Vick just said Tampa in the comments. I understand that one. I understand why he would do it. I understand how the money works. Tampa has $29 million and 31 players under contract. Mm-hmm. They don't get the luxury of going after the J.J. Watts.
Some restructuring is going to happen to make that work, though.
Yes, and by restructuring, you mean rebuilding the building and fortifying it from the inside. Because old Bruce, I don't think old Brucey understands how the salary cap works. You're coming back, and you're coming. No, that's not how that works unless you're going to play. Unless you're going to $60 in a pack of Newports.
Right.
Pack of menthol cigarettes. That's your signing bonus.
I don't know that you can convince everybody to work for league minimum.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to
work. Not when Chris Godwin's getting ready to get paid.
Paid.
I mean, they're all going to get
paid.
They all will get paid.
It's either going to be by the Jets or the Jaguars. The Jets and the Jaguars are just going to look at free agency and go, come to us.
Because they got,
and I'm looking forward to it.
When you have the most money, you have the most options. Does adding Deshaun Watson make the Carolina Panthers a playoff team? Michael Whiteside asked on the YouTube channel.
No.
I think if it does, barely. You're barely a playoff
Okay,
team.
Tell me who they're better than. Are they better than the 49ers?
No.
Are they better than the Seahawks? It's no.
No.
Rams?
No.
Cardinals?
Yeah.
Packers? No, they're not. Shut up. No, they're not.
With Deshaun Watson?
No, it's not close.
Okay.
Packers?
No.
Somebody has to win the NFC East, whoever you choose.
Right.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
No.
Okay, there's 7 right there.
Yeah.
And I didn't even go that deep. I could have gone further. I'm not saying you're bad. I'm saying you're going to gut your franchise to get a quarterback, and it's dumb.
Mm-hmm. I think they would be close. They would be just on the outside of the playoffs.
I think they're competitive. Mm-hmm. I think they're a good team. You got some breaks this year. Let's be real honest. And you were still the 8th worst team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Adam Black said on YouTube the division will be trash. I don't disagree with you. You're going to get 2 free wins a year off of New Orleans because they're going to suck a lot. Falcons are going to be better than you think they are. You mark my words. Remember, I said that. The Falcons will be better than you think they are. And Tampa Bay is going to shellac you twice. I don't care what Tampa Bay brings back. You have Tom, and I'm tired of doubting him.
Yeah.
Now I'm just ready for him to retire. I just need you to go the fuck away because you keep ruining my life, and I don't like it. Tom Brady is the my ex-wife of the NFL. You just keep ruining my life, and I don't know. I don't even know how. I don't even access. You have no access to me, and you still keep screwing my life up.
I agree, Kevin. Kevin Vick said on Facebook that that Carolina would be the second best team in the NFC South. I agree with that.
It'd be close,
but it'd be close with Atlanta. It would be much closer than because.
And I'm not trying to shit on Panthers fans. I'm really not. I'm just trying to make you understand exactly what you're talking about doing here. You do realize you couldn't stop the run to save your life. Mm-hmm. That's not going to get better with a $30-some-odd million quarterback. It's just not.
Right.
And above all else, we're putting the cart before the horse here because how are you going to get him? Oh, we'll give you Christian McCaffery and Teddy Bridgewater. Nick Cesario might laugh until he peed on himself. Mm-hmm. Oh, you think you're going to give us a broken 27-year-old quarterback, 28-year-old?
Well, you'd have to give him 8 and 2 more first-rounders.
Mm-hmm. And now what do you do? Now you don't have a first-round pick for 3 years.
Right. Now you're stuck.
And by the way, you're going to lose Curtis Samuel. So that receiving core is not going to be unfettered. Now you're going to lose Curtis Samuel because Curtis Samuel is about to get paid. Mm-hmm. I know 2 teams in the NFL that think Curtis Samuel's the best wide receiver available.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's very high
because
praise.
He's such an X factor. He's a good pre-snap motion guy.
Everything. Yeah.
He's just very NFL. He's very current NFL friendly. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to have him back. So you're telling me that no discernible tight end on the roster with Deshaun Watson and Robbie Anderson, who I can say it better than anybody, likes to disappear. He goes the great Houdini a lot and disappears. Mm-hmm. And DJ Moore. That's your offense. And you're going to run Mike Davis, which I'm fine with. That part's fine. Behind one of the worst offensive lines in football with a defense that can't stop the run. Mm-hmm. You think that's a Super Bowl contender. I have a bridge that you can buy for the low rate of a whole lot of money. The deed is written on the back of a roll of Charmin toilet paper.
Yeah. It's not the path. It's not the path that Panther fans should want. Be satisfied with going the slow roll. You got something working here in the first year of Matt Rule. You don't want to overshoot it.
The process.
Right, exactly.
You're picking at 8. You have Bridgewater, who is under pretty team-friendly cap control right now. 1-year deals are going to be unbelievable equity. I sounded like Bill Walton right there. In the NFL this year. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I remember when I was at Sorry. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, 1-year deals are going to be the carte blanche. By the way, something I heard yesterday. You're going to see more tags in this offseason than you've ever seen before. Players that you're not even thinking about being tagged. Curtis Samuel is one of them I heard, by the way.
Just because the money's so tight?
Yep. Because that 1-year deal is so beneficial. Mm-hmm. There's no guaranteed money. You can get out of it if you have to. Mm-hmm. It's hunky-dunky. And if somebody signs them, you get a shitload of draft capital, which right now is gold. Mm-hmm. If you have draft picks right now, you can do anything. You know why? Because you need cheap talent. Because the cap's coming down. No matter what they do, there's nothing they can do to keep the cap from coming down. Right now, the NFL has a problem. And I've been talking about it for months, and I think it's funny the NFL is just coming around to it now. We have teams that can't get under the cap.
Right.
You can't. You blow the stadium up and file an insurance claim, and you're still not getting under the fucking salary cap. New Orleans Saints are $100 million over the cap. I still want to know how you got to that point. That's like the, and we all know this person that has a credit card and they think they're rich. So they're like, oh look, I bought all this shit, and then the bill comes and they goes, I don't know how I'm going to pay for all this shit.
And
most
then
of them
they just
vote
don't.
Democrat. Shit!
And man, you have
damn.
to throw
Damn
all
the devil.
sports, no politics. Come
Oh,
on.
shit!
It's over there.
I try.
It's on the screen. Jeez.
It's actually right over my head. I put it there as a reminder of no.
Yeah, please don't.
I can't help it. I'm in such a shooting mode this morning.
It's true.
Just hearing all these rumors, and now the bad thing is we've been doing this show for so long. Now I've got people coming to me asking me to confirm these things,
Right.
and now I'm the one going, stop talking. No, Deshaun Watson's not being traded for Christian McCaffery.
Right.
No, J.J. Watt's not going to Cleveland. Name me the last free agent that signed in Cleveland, by the way. I'll wait. Wait. It was a high-level free agent.
Kareem Hunt.
He wasn't a high-level
He
free
wasn't a
agent.
high-level
He was a
free agent.
pariah.
Right.
Odell Beckham was traded. Jarvis Landry was traded. Baker Mayfield was drafted. So was Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
There's no one. Austin Hooper. Woo-hoo!
Yeah. Austin Hooper. There you go.
Yeah!
We paid.
Who they gave $1 bajillion.
We paid $80 million for Austin Hooper.
Patrick Hull said OBJ was a trade. And I got news for you. He was not thrilled about it at first.
No one's thrilled about going to Cleveland,
I may be in Cleveland in a few months, and I'm already dreading it.
which is hilarious.
I got a tetanus shot.
Oh, you just in preparation.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, actually, the cycle of things you have to take to be admitted into Cleveland, it actually beats the coronavirus. You don't even need the vaccine.
You're gonna get the malaria shot.
Yeah. Between that and the fact I used to drink Four Locos in the woods, I am impervious to the coronavirus.
Diphtheria and cholera and all those things.
Yes.
It's just the diseased city.
Yeah, all of those things. I think people could still get polio in Cleveland. I don't know how that's possible, but I think that's a thing.
I doubt it's a thing. I very seriously.
They're not
doubt it's a
approving
thing.
my media credential for the draft.
No, they're
are they?
not. They're not.
You go back and go, what does he do? Like, oh,
Big B on
fuck
YouTube
that
goes.
guy.
Big B on YouTube says Curtis Samuel goes to Jacksonville, reunites with Urban Meyer.
That's
it's
a rumor.
great.
It's a rumor. That's a thing that's
It's
out
a great fit though. I think. It'd
Well,
be
the
excellent.
thing about Curtis Samuel is that he's so good pre-snap motion, and that's going to be every coach that took a job this year. You're going to see an element of that.
How would you know if that happens? If Curtis Samuel goes to Jacksonville, how would you know what they're going to do on any play?
Because you got Laviska
with him
and
and
him that
right.
can both throw,
Right.
run, or catch.
Right, him and Laviska would be the most incredible tandem of being able to, and you got Urban Meyer,
I'm still
who
waiting.
I think is a genius and would be able to exploit that.
I'm still waiting for somebody to adopt my two quarterbacks on the field at the same time theory. If you're a quarterback,
good idea.
if you're a coach in high school football, I got something for you. Just message me.
It's not
I've
a
worked
good
on
idea.
it for years.
Didn't they try to do that with Pat White at some point?
Well, Pat White was the quarterback, and Pat White was fast as fuck.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly how this works. That's for a later day with somebody that wants to go super nerd. If you want a super nerd Jeremy date, you just message me and ask me how that works. Then you'll be stuck with me for about 4 hours as I may explain it real slow.
2 quarterbacks at one time.
We need to move the fuck on.
He wants to,
There's something I want to say so bad. So bad. Move on.
Move
Don't
on.
do it.
I want to poke this
Don't do
bear
it.
so bad.
There's somebody in the world that will stab you in the neck with a knife. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I wasn't even. I don't know what you're
Bullshit.
talking about.
Lie.
I
Lie.
don't
That's
know.
what lie sounds like.
Don't know what you're talking about at all. 2 quarterbacks, 1 cup. Way to go, Patrick Holt. Always count on him.
You have to change this topic immediately, or I'm going to get killed.
All right, let's.
There it was. There it was. I knew somebody was going to say it.
Nope.
Tank's scared of my wife, so that's the reason that.
I mean, she would kick my ass,
100%.
and it would be close.
No.
Lots of donations pouring in for the Jackson in Action 83 Foundation. This is the foundation that was established by Vincent Jackson. I'm sure over the weekend we all heard the horrible news of VJack's former LA Charger or San Diego Charger, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer wide receiver who was found dead in a hotel. at the age of 38. I don't have anything to say on this other than thoughts and prayers. And, you know, it's very sad to see a young man end up in this position. But the Jackson in Action 83 Foundation supports the children of military personnel, and fans have been pouring money into that. So check them out. Jackson in Action 83 Foundation. It's jacksoninaction83.org if you would like to make a donation to that in his honor. Tennessee Titans are not going to get J.J. Watt either.
No.
Cleveland's not going to happen. Tennessee's not going to happen. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to happen.
No.
I mean, the original story was that J.J. Watt went to the ownership, went to Cal McNair and company and said, I want my release. I want to go play for a Super Bowl contender.
Mm-hmm. And good on him.
So,
good for you.
I find it funny that all of these teams on the outskirts of the contender conversation think that this could be the piece that vaults them into contention. And I don't see that happening. I see J.J. Watt as more of a complementary piece on an already established
He will be a good player, a good to very good player for a championship level team. That's the other beauty of this. Another thing that that nobody seems to be thinking about. Mm-hmm. If J.J. Watt goes to a really good team, they don't have to play him every down.
Right.
They don't have to run him into the ground. He can run 30, 35 plays a game. And that's the reason that I think he's going to end up playing about 5 more years, which is why Cleveland doesn't make sense, Pittsburgh doesn't make sense, several others. To me, Buffalo makes perfect sense, and so does Green Bay. Really, to me, outside of that, nothing else makes sense.
No, L.A. The L.A. Rams, to me, seems like a decent fit, and depending on how much he wants to play for.
Yeah, but it would have to be super cheap, and I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be that cheap. Everybody thinks he's coming in for the vet minimum. I don't buy it.
Right. $5 million?
I think you're still low.
Really?
I really do. Yeah, I think you're still low. I think it's going to be higher than that.
Okay. I don't know what's
going to be higher than that.
Okay. I don't know what.
Ron just said Ndamukong Suh and J.J. Watt are the same person. I agree with you. They are. Mm-hmm. In a 4-3, they play on the interior. And I think he would be a tremendous inside pass rusher. Patrick Holt said J.J. Watt to Washington. That would be tremendously fun to watch. But I'm going to go with no.
But they're not a contender.
If you wound up with a quarterback, then we could talk.
It'd have to be Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Anything aside from
that level.
Right. I was going to say anything aside from that, I don't think this team's a contender. Like him a lot. Like he is a contender in your division. But not so much on the national scale or the world scale.
Buffalo's the one that makes all the sense. That was immediately when I saw the news, that was the first team I said was Buffalo. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where it's I think they're in Green Bay are where it falls in. Because I don't think Green Bay's a contender for all that long. That's the knock on Green Bay to me, is that Aaron Rodgers, you don't know how long he's going to be there. And that has gotten contentious behind closed doors.
I guess we just kind of most of us.
Because he ain't signing up to play with Jordan Love. I can tell you that much fucking definitive.
I guess most of us have just kind of thought of this J.J. Watt thing as maybe his last few years in the league, he'll just be a mercenary. He'll just hop team to team.
And I don't buy that.
Chasing Super Bowls.
Hey, that's not who he is.
Yeah.
He gets ingrained in communities. He likes doing all of these things. I don't see him bouncing from town to town.
But there's
Ron said he's not LaShawn McCoy. Yeah, he'll actually, if he plays in the Super Bowl, he'll actually play in a Super Bowl. LaShawn McCoy has 2 Super Bowl rings and has taken as many snaps as I have.
Did LaShawn not get a snap in the Super Bowl? I thought he did.
No. Oh. 2 Super Bowls in a row, 2 rings.
Well, at least they allowed him to be in uniform for this one.
He wasn't in uniform for this one.
Was he not?
No.
I thought he was on the
I thought he was inactive.
No, I don't think.
He was in uniform.
He was.
Yeah, he didn't take a snap. I can tell you definitively he didn't take a snap.
Yeah. No, he was in uniform. I know that.
It's a great role. Just show up.
I love dressing up.
Why not?
Ring.
Why not? I mean,
play Halloween 19 times, get a Super Bowl ring.
Hell,
sweet.
We are all familiar here in the Asheville area with a guy who's been doing this in Major League Baseball, Cameron Maybin. He's been going.
He's played though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, but I'm
Oh,
saying
you're
in
talking
the
about the
J.J.
mercenary
Watt,
thing.
right? In the J.J. Watt sense, this could kind of be a path for him.
Yeah, I don't buy it. To me, I think it's stupid, to be really honest with you. Basically, it blows in the face of everything he's ever done. But it's a fun little narrative. This is the reason it's going to drive. This is the reason this offseason is going to drive me absolutely ballistic. Because people just throw shit out there and go, "Well, this makes sense.
Yeah,
why we can do this?
Why not?"
Call somebody, ask somebody. Fuck, ask me. Shit, I'm nominally connected, and hell, I can tell you 90% of this is bullshit.
Right.
But we gotta have something to talk about.
But you think wherever he goes, he will sign a multi-year deal?
I'm not necessarily saying that's how the deal will work. He might be team friendly on the deal. I just think he's going to intend on being there for a while.
Right.
You got to think he was Mr. Houston. He's not going to go Tampa to Pittsburgh. I don't see him as that kind of guy.
Well, you got if that's the case, we're not just thinking about it in 1 year terms. Obviously, if he wanted to play for a team that's immediately in the conversation, then it's going to be Kansas City or Green Bay or Tampa Bay.
He doesn't fit in Kansas City, by the way.
Yeah.
There's a reason we're not talking about Kansas City, because the fit sucks. Mm-hmm. Chris Jones does what he does. And putting them beside each other is redundant. There's a reason you don't see teams do that.
Okay, but I'm saying these are the teams that might be on a short list.
Yeah, I've already told you the short list. It's Green Bay and it's Buffalo. That's it.
Yeah.
I'll give you Tampa Bay. I don't buy it. I think everybody's just reading tea leaves and thinks everybody in the NFL is going to take $1 million to go play with Tom. And I don't buy it.
Right.
I've never bought it.
But if he wants to be somewhere for a while, then
that
window opens up a little bit.
That's the other part of Tampa, by the way. If this goes the way we all think it will, Tom plays one more year, and then what's JJ going to hang out with Blaine Gabbert? Mm-hmm. Or who is that? Ryan
That's what
Griffin?
I was thinking. That's what I was thinking about Green Bay.
That's the reason I said. Everybody that I talk to says it's going to be Green Bay.
Yeah.
And my problem is I don't see him tying himself to Jordan Love in the long term. I don't buy it. Mm-hmm. I look at Josh Allen and go, he's about to get paid, and he's going to be there forever.
So why not consider an up-and-coming team? It's got a young quarterback, got a familiar face that on the wide receiving core, DeAndre Hopkins.
I don't think Arizona's
DeAndre
that
Hopkins
close to actual legitimate Super Bowl contention.
It'll be 2 years.
Maybe his fit's not great there either.
DeAndre Hopkins went on Twitter yesterday trying to recruit him, saying, come join me down here in Arizona. And then you had, was it Juju?
Oh,
saying
everybody
come to
wants
Pittsburgh. Everybody wants
him.
a guy like that in their locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I did
He's a
think it was
great
kind of
locker
funny
room
that
guy.
Juju
He's a
said
great
come
player.
to Pittsburgh because,
it's not going to matter.
Staying in Pittsburgh?
No. Yeah, Juju's like, come to Pittsburgh. I'll high-five you at the airport. Is that legal? Maybe we have a beer in the Pittsburgh airport.
Juju's intentions thrown out there. He wants to stay.
No, he doesn't. He might want to stay. He's not going to.
Right.
He is about 7 videos overdrawn on his TikTok account to stay in Pittsburgh.
Oh. They've run out of juice for him.
Yeah, they're out of Corvettes. No more Corvettes.
No more Corvettes.
Boing, 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 boing. I hate that stupid ass fucking
Do it again.
dance. Boing, 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 boing. Yeah, my chair squeaks because I'm fat. Judge me.
Good job.
His would too, but he doesn't move that fast. I broke his chair.
You're
So.
not wrong. Isaiah Wilson. Have you seen this story?
Yes.
The Tennessee Titans. This is bizarre to me. Isaiah Wilson, tackle out of Georgia, got drafted last year, number 29 overall by the Tennessee Titans. Before the season even started, he got in trouble twice. Once he got in trouble for trespassing. The next one he got in trouble for a DUI. He was placed on the reserve COVID list. Then he got brought off of it. Then he got suspended by the team later in the year. And then they put him on the reserve COVID list again. It's violating some rules. I haven't seen any details on what that was, what the suspension was for with the team. Now they say since the last time they put him on the reserve COVID list, they have had no contact with him. They haven't even talked to the guy that they drafted in the first round last year. This is just a strange situation, and they say we'll have him back, but he's got some personal issues that he needs to work out, and he needs to decide whether or not he actually wants to play football or something to that effect, of go through the process of doing what it takes to get back on the football field. It's not a good sign. 3 months in, not a good sign.
You want to know why scouts and people that do what I do, why we ask so many questions? You want to know why I've said so many things about the opt-outs are going to be a problem? This is why.
Yeah.
This is why. Because think about interviewing somebody for your job. Let's say, whether you own your company or whatever the case may be. Let's say you have to interview somebody. And you sit them down in front of you and you ask them a series of questions. What are they going to tell you?
Exactly what you want to hear.
Exactly what you want to hear. Nobody's going to say, hey, you know what I like to do? Cram down 16 Four Locos and go hang out in the woods. I mean, other than me. I'll do that. But we own this company, so I can do that. My boss is okay with it.
You haven't done that in at least 10 years, have you?
A Four Loco?
Yeah.
I have not done a Four Loco in a long time. I have done a bootlegger, which is in the same general vicinity.
Oh, those little pregame things?
Yes,
at
the
gas
little
station?
glass containers.
Yeah.
And they're god-awful.
They
taste like Boone's Farm on steroids. They're not great.
It's like slushy syrup with alcohol in it.
I guess we can tap out on them sponsoring us at any time.
Who?
The bootlegger.
Oh,
I don't think that was.
I don't think they do a whole lot of advertising.
I don't either.
They're not really, targeting the high end market.
Yeah, they're. You're drunk at a gas station at 1 a.m. Well, skip for bootleggers. Green apple.
We're just trying to find something to ease the pain on the way home.
Yeah,
you see a lot of 45-year-old minivan dads grabbing those on the way home from work every day.
Yeah.
What?
If you're grabbing a bootlegger, I don't necessarily think that's. I don't think that's the minivan crowd is what's grabbing that. If you're grabbing a bootlegger, it's because you're headed to a bar. Like, I am going to get a head start, and this is going to be a much cheaper night than I.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Anyhow, how did we get on this?
I have no idea.
No clue. Oh, we were talking about Isaiah Wilson.
Yeah, you want to know why people that do what I do and scouts, they ask so many intricate questions? Because they're trying to break you. Mm-hmm. They want to see who you really are. And Isaiah Wilson, this is why. Mm-hmm. And we have one of these every year. This is a dude that got a DWI and almost jumped off a second-story balcony within a month.
Yep.
And it was within 3 months of being drafted. You know how many snaps he played last year? 4. It was 4.
Yikes.
And he's a first rounder.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to get paid pretty much regardless. So
there's nothing they can do at this point. They can,
not to get away from the guarantee.
They can't cut him. They can't.
I mean, they can cut him, but it's going to cost him.
Even if he's not reporting or anything like that, there's no clause.
Yeah, you got to file it, and
it's not worth it.
Well, that's not that it's not worth it. It's just you're not going to win.
Gotcha.
The NFLPA protects guys, and he's in the union, so he's going to be protected. But now, to answer your question of what they could do, if they were to cut him, it would cost them. Did they already cut him?
No.
I was kidding. He's here somewhere. He's buried pretty good. I'll find it in a minute. Keep talking.
So on like a first round draft pick, they're still
$10 million.
They're still going to have to pay him something.
Yes, $10 million. That's what the dead cap charge would be on a guy that was a complete and utter fucking failure.
Yeah.
It was a complete disaster, and we knew it from really early on.
A guy who practiced for like 6 weeks during the entire season.
Yeah.
Played 4 snaps, and you're going to be on the hook for $10 million if he doesn't decide to come back.
That's the reason that you hear all of these questions, and it happens every year. Oh, can you believe this team has this guy this? Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. I hear things about guys every draft season that I don't report on this show because I can't. It's not that I can't confirm it. It's not my place to say some of these things.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, my hit rate on these dumpster fire guys that wind up in the NFL is about 60%. There were rumblings about Isaiah Wilson. Maybe he didn't interview well. He was a little immature, and he's young as hell. I think he just turned 21 in his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But you better hit on these guys because they are incredibly expensive. And if you reach on a guy like this, which Tennessee did, and you're wrong, it is a horrible look for the franchise.
Well, they had, they were kind of in a position where they felt they had to. They had just, the offseason didn't go their way, and they needed to tackle.
Well, they knew Conklin was leaving. I know exactly what you're getting ready to say. They knew he was leaving. That's not why they reached right there. Mm-hmm. And there were I'll be honest with you, there were other linemen that you could have waited around. Mm-hmm. Whether it's Ezra Cleveland, who was pretty good this year, Josh Jones, who he didn't play as much, but you never reach on a guy for need.
Right.
And I said that when we did the draft, which we will be doing again this year, live from right here. With all the toys and all of the things.
All the bells, all the whistles, all the streams going up at once.
We'll also be wearing our sweet new Sportsocracy hats.
Oh, have those gotten ordered?
Yeah, if you're interested in sports, I'll be posting this later today. Those have to be ordered because they have to be custom made because they have a sweet little leather patch with the beer logo on it. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in one of those, let me know. Send me a message, comment on the thread, whatever the case may be. I just need to know vaguely how many to order. I don't have to order one for every specific person. We will have extras, but I don't want 50 people to want them, and we ordered 25 or 225.
Right.
Like to keep that number pretty close.
Apparently, we're back on the Bears as the front runner for Carson Wentz now.
No.
Apparently, that's the latest report coming out that the Bears are now back as the front runners.
Do you know what I heard yesterday about the Bears?
What'd you hear?
The last conversation they had with the Philadelphia Eagles, they hung up the phone and said, "Don't call back."
Oh, snap.
They're not giving up a one for Carson Wentz. Mm-hmm. They're not giving up that one.
Does that shock you, though?
Yes.
It shocks you that no one is ponying up a one? I mean, at least that's the report, is that nobody's offering a one right now.
Indianapolis will. Indianapolis offered 2 2s, of which if you look at the trade value chart, you're in the ballpark. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're asking for your firstborn. It's pretty close to what you offered.
I think I don't know. I guess it's surprising to me. It's not
that nobody would give up a one for Carson Wentz?
Yes.
Metrics. It's because your fan base has seen him look so bad recently, and there are a lot of people in the NFL that are just tapped on him. They think you're going to have to reshape his mechanics, that he's a broken toy. And I don't believe that.
But we've seen his good be really good. It just didn't work it just didn't last a full season. I mean, he was one game away from being the MVP of the league. Mm-hmm. And I thought at the time, maybe they should have given him the MVP that year. But the idea here is, we've seen him be really good. And we've seen him be really good with some of these coaches that are talking about getting him back.
Mm-hmm. Frank Reich.
With Frank Reich in Indianapolis, and then you got John DeFilippo now with the Bears.
You want to talk about a mercenary? John DeFilippo's a mercenary.
Yeah.
John DeFilippo's, I think he's coached half the teams in the NFL in the last 16 years. Mm-hmm.
And he has bounced.
I got news for you. They're not doing shit in Chicago on the word of John DeFilippo.
Okay.
Because he's a bad 6-week stretch from him and Matt Nagy both being fired. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, he's not the play caller. Nagy calls the plays.
Right.
Nagy has no relationship with Carson Wentz. I don't buy the I've heard that a bunch of times.
Well,
that's why they promoted DeFilippo. No, it's not. They promoted him because he's good with quarterbacks, and they know they're going to have somebody that's good with quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. He's not a great offense coordinator, and I'll be honest with you, he wasn't with. He was with Wentz for a couple years, but Frank Reich was the guy that really dealt more with him than.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, that is the connection.
Oh, I get it
with the Chicago Bears.
I'm not saying I don't understand the connection. I'm saying they're not going to give up what Philadelphia wants. Yeah. They don't view him that way. And everything I've heard is that they're offering like a 3 and a 5 with Nick Foles, which it gets so annoying that. Why would anybody want Nick Foles? Oh, we want a title in Philadelphia. Yeah, with 0 of the coaches that are currently on it.
But you look at the Jared Goff deal that got done, and L.A. had to give up a first-round draft pick to get them to take that contract.
Pretty much.
Do you see him and Carson Wentz as similar guys with similar deals?
In a way, yes. In a way, no. The ceiling on Carson Wentz is markedly higher than it is on Jared Goff.
I'll agree with that.
The floor is also, I think, lower. If you tell me one of these quarterbacks got benched 6 weeks into the season, I'm going to say it's Carson Wentz.
It's Carson.
Because I pretty much know what Jared Goff is.
Mm-hmm.
He's an average quarterback that's paid like an elite one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like Carson Wentz better. I think Carson Wentz in the right scenario can be a high-level NFL quarterback again, which is why I think he winds up in Indy.
Yeah.
And everything I've heard has lended itself to that. My question, and I can tell you it's his preference is to be in Indy. It's not close.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to go to Chicago, who has no receivers, and a beat-up offensive line, leaving Philadelphia that had no receivers and a bad offensive line.
Yeah.
So the difference is their defense is a little bit better. I'm good. I'll pass.
If the
and I think that's how Chicago feels too, by the way.
Yeah. If the contract weren't so bad with Carson Wentz, I feel like there would be a lot more on the table. Because I see him as, like he would get somewhere more in the ballpark of a Sam Darnold if he didn't have with $60 million hanging on the end of his contract.
Talent-wise, they're looked at as very similar players. The difference is Sam is younger.
Yep.
And Sam has not had as many years to have bad mechanics and bad form pounding in his head.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not paid the same rate. Here's the thing. Here's what nobody's going to talk about with Carson Wentz. Let's just say they wait till June 1st to trade Carson Wentz.
Okay.
$10 million of that guaranteed money comes off that deal. But now that's Philadelphia paying it. Mm-hmm. This is going to be done, in my opinion, pre-June 1, and Philadelphia will end up eating $30 million in dead cap space, which makes that deal much more palatable. Mm-hmm. Because if he's moved, that guaranteed salary comes off. So now you're looking at like a $16 to $17 million quarterback. But you're going to have to pay for that. Mm-hmm. The Eagles are not just going to eat that money for shits and giggles.
Right.
They're going to have to get something, and they pretty much valued that at being a 1. They want a 1 for us to do that.
And I think that's fair. I think a 1 is a fair price for Carson Wentz. Especially if you believe you have the infrastructure in place to help him be a better quarterback. He's got to learn. Somebody has to be able to teach him how to hold on to the ball. Mm-hmm. His fumble numbers are unbelievable.
Daniel Jones.
Right.
They're
right.
there,
him and Daniel Jones had the most fumbles of any quarterbacks over the last 2 years in the NFL. It's insanity to me. I didn't think he was that bad with the ball, but there again, he did fumble like 9 times this year, while he was being sacked 50 times in 12 games.
He had nothing around him in Philadelphia. And I don't think Carson Wentz is signing up to go somewhere that he has nothing around him. And I don't think it makes any sense. He's a bad trade here away from being out of the league in 2 or 3 years. Indy does not have that problem. And Indy has money. Mm-hmm. That's why this deal is ultimately going to get done. And it's the first domino in the quarterback game of dominoes. Mm-hmm. Nothing's happening until the market's set with Carson Wentz because there's too much dissent on what it actually cost for Matt Stafford and what it actually cost for them to take Jared Goff. Some people think it was 2 1s for Stafford and they threw in a 3 for Jared Goff. Mm-hmm. I don't buy that. I don't buy that any team would take that contract for that. I don't care how much you wanted to do what was right by Matthew Stafford. I could give a shit less. You're not making a deal that bad unless you saw some merit to it.
Right.
Especially knowing that Carolina offered 8 in Bridgewater. Mm-hmm. That's a better deal. Not close.
Right.
But that's where the dissent comes from. The Wentz deal will set the market. Once Wentz is dealt, which, to be frank, I'm shocked it hasn't happened already. And the reason it hasn't happened is because Indy thinks they're negotiating against themselves. Mm-hmm. We don't have to push it up because we know you're going to trade him, and we're the only team still interested. And by the way, you know that fun game of who wants you to know this? Why do you think that it came out that the Bears were interested again? You think the Bears are the ones floating that?
No, it's the Eagles.
There you go.
The Eagles.
And the reason they're doing it is the Bears are the only team that you could convince anybody was still interested. Because they're trying to get that one out of Indy. They don't want 2-2s, they want 1-1.
Yeah.
And I think it ultimately gets done, and I think it probably gets... I said it would get done last week. I'm going to double down and say it's done this week.
Yeah. That ultimately would be the smart choice.
Mainly because Philadelphia is losing all credibility of anything that comes out. Because we all know they're the ones floating this shit.
Are you having fun riding on the roller coaster of the NBA?
No, I'm not.
Jeremy had a rough night last night in his green on green.
Well, in fairness, I did not know Denver was going to be missing half of their team.
Yeah.
That didn't help. And fuck Brooklyn. Fuck Brooklyn. I hate Brooklyn with every fiber of my being.
Yeah. Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets trailed by 20-something at one point.
The Nets, not the city, by the way. I love the city. I like Brooklyn.
And the Nets were able to come back and win against the Phoenix Suns, 128-124. The over/under on every Nets game should be 250-something.
Most of them are.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
James Harden was the star last night, 38 points, and they had no Kyrie, no KD. You just can't put your finger on it.
No. They're infuriating. I hate them. I'm done betting them. I'm over it. Screw it.
Zion Williamson had a big night last night, too. The New Orleans Pelicans.
Another team that can go fuck itself. The New Orleans Pelicans, I swear to God, it's like they look at my betting slips and go, hey, he's betting on us. Play like shit. He's betting against us. Play real good.
They scored 144.
There are 4 teams in the NBA that since the year switched to 2021,
yeah,
I am a combined 4-21 betting on.
Holy
And it's the Pelicans, the Nets. I don't remember who the other 2 are. I went back and looked. I have an app that tracks all my shit.
The Bucks, the Raptors.
No. I don't remember.
You've been picking against the Raptors a lot, and they've been
I'll say it on the ESPN show this afternoon. I went back and looked at my app, and it was unfucking believable. I'd won one time on every one of them.
I'd be willing to bet that the Raptors are probably in that group.
That doesn't sound right, but you might be right.
Yeah, because you've been picking against them a lot, and they've been winning.
Yeah, but I also picked them a lot when they were still playing Chris Boucher, and they were winning.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then for some reason they went, no, we don't want to win anymore. Sit Chris Boucher down. He's been the best player on this team, but just sit him down.
The Bucks are on a 4-game losing streak. Is it panic time? Stop it. How early in the season is it? We're still just a third of the way?
25 games in. Pretty much.
Yeah, we're
across
a
the league.
third of the way into the season. Stop it with the knee-jerk reactions on the NBA. Anthony Davis is hurt again, though, so that is a little concerning.
Anthony Davis is always hurt. Anthony Davis has a perpetual hangnail that keeps him out of games constantly.
Although the good thing is they only need him to show up in playoff time.
Yes.
So as long as it's a 2 to 3 week injury, which it is, they'll be fine.
Which is why he has a perpetual hangnail. So we're between 25 and 28 games in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
How many teams in the East have less than 10 losses?
Less than 10 losses. Mm-hmm. 2.
You're too high. It's 0.
0.
There's not a team in the East that is better than 18-10.
Wow.
So the East is weird. The best team in the East to me is no doubt the 76ers.
Yeah.
The Nets and the Bucks are bouncing around for second. Care to take a guess who's 4th in the East? It's a team I've killed for playing really badly.
The Celtics.
Yep. The Raptors are 7th and the Hornets are 8th.
Hey, playoffs.
Woof.
Knicks are 6, baby.
The Knicks are 6.
That shouldn't make you feel good.
Sad. That is sad. That's going to be that's my new goal for the Charlotte Hornets for the rest of the year. Just beat the Knicks. Just finish higher than the Knicks, and we'll be able to say that this season was a building block. We'll have more this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene every weekday afternoon at 3. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We are live from the Wicked Weed studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different.